one. So before we start our session, I'd like to welcome you all, and please feel free to engage as much as we can. It's a ladies forum, ladies platform for us to just have fun and debrief and take our minds off motherhood, is it? So I'm going to start here. Introduce yourself. There's a note on this, a small note there. You just share something about that with us, and we have fun.
My name is Abby. What I've got here is describe a meal or food tradition from your culture that you enjoy with your family. My favorite food is jollof rice.
Okay.
What else do you want?
No, it's just you. So our topic for today, if you can see, we are it's exploring identity, culture, and experiences, and we try to harmonize the two or to merge the two with the British culture and how to balance that. So in us discussing about our cultures, our traditions from back home, it's just trying to kickstart the conversation. Yeah. Thank you. You
My name is, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adida Maladegoke. What I have here is share a favorite childhood memory related to a family tradition. Childhood memory. Okay. I could remember when I was younger. I have this friend of mine. Okay, we do travel to our village to do Christmas with my grandmom then. So then I have a friend of mine there that still there in the village. So if we get to the village, there is a stream. There is a stream that, the stream is somehow high, I don't know, but there is a water that do gush out from top of the hill. We don't know where the water come from. But later we heard that there is a small pot on top where the water do gush out from. So, and the water is, I don't know how I will explain it. When you enter the stream, the water will be dropping calmly. But the rate at which that water heard noise, if you are plant there, the water will be gushing out heavily. That will be as if they are throwing stone on you. So I used to have fun while going there. But unfortunately, when I lost my grandmom, we couldn't go home. So I missed those things. So I think that.
welcome. All right, welcome. Feel free to sit on any chair. Oh, that's a lovely memory there. I'm sure you enjoyed the waterfalls, is it? And you missed that even here, is it? All right. To those that have just joined us, we're just starting our session. And the topic today is exploring identity of culture and experiences from back home. So at the moment, we're just doing a bit of an icebreaker. On the chairs, you see there's a small note there. So while you introduce yourself, you also just kind of answer or share what is on there. All right.
Good afternoon. My name is Evelyn. I think I've got two childhood memories. The first, yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think when I'm a Ghanaian, but I grew up in South Africa. And during my childhood, I don't know if it's a tradition, but I've always, it's a bit funny, when we were young, my dad was the kind that he only wore white underwear and a vest. And every Saturday we would soak it, wash it, and I mean, you look at the washing line and all you see is pure white. And when I grew up and got married and had my kids, I had that intention of letting them continue it. And then you buy it, my husband doesn't like it, they like boxers. And then you have all different colors and shades of it. And then my son doesn't like it too. Even when you get him a vest, he will like, Mommy, why do I have to wear a vest? And I'm like, you have to. It's like, but my friends don't. I'm like, yeah, but you have to. But why? I'm like, because Grandpa used to wear it. And he's like, yeah, but why do I have to? I'm like, well, you have to. It's just good for a man to wear a singlet under his shirt. because that's what I've grown up to believe. So I was able to get a singlet, but the underwear, it didn't work out. And then another one was when we were in South Africa, every Christmas when we go to Ghana, we had this tradition of, I think it's an African thing, when we cook. I remember the first time we went, we cooked. And I came out and I looked in the village. I looked out there and I was like, why is there were like 30 plates being dished in? And then in Ghana, we have this big black pot where we put food in, and you will have 6 people all sitting eating from one pot. And it was so lovely and so get together that you see grandma, aunties, 5 of us sitting, eating from one pot, children in the neighborhood, all of them come in because you come from Europe, so all the around kids come in, and everybody that gets into the house has a meal to eat. And it was just so nice, and it has been like that even 2 years ago when we went to Ghana with the family and the kids, they were like, why are these people coming to the house to eat? They don't live here. They don't stay here. And I'm like, yeah, but that's what we do. And the question is always, why? And it's like, because we've been doing it, it has become part of what we do. There's no why to it. I don't know how it started, but I grew up us doing it, and it has continued even up to today. So, yeah, that's one of those that I remember up to now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Jane. My name is Jane. What is the challenge your children face related to cultural difference, and how do you support them? Well, one of the things that I notice is, for example, when we're supposed to go out wearing natives, and you have them to, maybe we come from Africa, and then we have it for them. They just feel very uncomfortable wearing it and going out in the street, or going to the party or something like that. So what we do is, what I normally do, I wear it myself, like today when I wear it. How does it look? It's nice. And then probably we're going to a party, a Nigerian party or something like that. We all dress in African attire, and when they get there, everyone is like admiring them. I was like, they feel comfortable wearing them. And then another thing again that I notice is sometimes they don't like eating Nigerian food like swallow and things like that. So what I did was I go to YouTube, all this Facebook, and I showed them white people eating our food proudly, And then when it's time to eat, I make it like a little tradition that everyone, maybe we'll have to go to the garden and eat pounded or swallow today. Every Saturday we have to eat swallow in the garden or something like that. So before you know it, they started looking forward to, they started looking forward to eating in the garden, and that eating in the garden will have to be swallow. And then when they go out, they proudly talk about our food because they see white people eating it as well. So that's how it.
Thank you. So we're getting some tips there, is it? All right. Welcome.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rodiat, so from Nigeria. Sorry. My name is Rodiat, so from Nigeria. So the question says, share a positive experience you've had in England that helped you feel more connected to the community. Well, for a very long time when I got to this country, I really struggled with the community connection, considering the fact that, where I was coming from, there is this huge platform for everyone, the sense of community, relationship with people. Like she said, we've always been so connected. But here it's a struggle, and especially when you have kids also, there are a lot of things that they really cannot relate to. So it's a big issue. So, but for me, one of the things that actually stand out for me is the fact that I'm still able to speak my local dialect. So the first time that I met someone that we actually had a full conversation in Yoruba, my local language, I was so happy. So I think that is one of the positive experience that I can But in other areas, it's still a struggle. So, well, we'll get there. Thank you. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aramide Taiwo, called Deborah. My question says, what role does extended family play in your parenting? And how has that changed since moving to England? When we live back in Nigeria, my father lives in an estate in Ikeja, one of those big men estates. And my mom doesn't stay with him, so she lives in an area called Agege. So it's totally what an opposite. So in our house in Ikeja, my dad don't like us mixing with other children apart from the friends group. So we don't go out. We don't even get to go downstairs. We got everything we need inside the house. But luckily, when I go to my mom, it's like, they call it face you. It's a big, massive compound. So what I can say is it's like a family house. I learned a lot of things. I learned there's two different worlds. There's two ways to life. Not just their way, my father's way, because what we do is they just want them to, like, people that alike to be together, so they don't want any other person coming. But with my mom's house, she can go out, she's comfortable, our brothers our extended family are there, we are free, we run around, like we eat together in the same bowl, which I don't get this chance. So I've learned that. So now, and how it has changed since I moved to England, wow. It's totally, in England, it's even more worse than Ikeja. No, I'm not saying I don't appreciate, but to be honest, it was, like she said, it's a big struggle, because when I came here, I came with that Nigerian thing, the one that I learned from my mom. So when I go out and I see someone, because I remember one day I saw a lady that lives across the road to my mother's house. So I was shouting, "Oh, auntie, this is you. Oh, come, mommy lives in there, come to the house." So I brought them home. I didn't know I need to ask my sister that owns the house can they come? So I thought, I didn't know. So that caused a lot of problem. That it's not just one problem, because now I kept on doing it. And doing it. One time I see and uncle, mommy is in this, and then they come. So then one day my sister was so mad. Then she because usually my mom, she's like a mother to all the youths. So my sister got so mad and told my mom off and said, "No, you cannot just be bringing people to my house." And then so she now called me and sat me down and told me that, "You see, this place is totally different from the way we do at home. Before you come to your sister's house, when you don't live here again, you need to call your sister and ask her, is it okay? Or you say, I'm at your door. If they don't open, don't take it as anything. Just go back to your house." So the experience is totally, totally different. Thank you.
All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adidayo Adeyinka, and I've got here share a positive experience you've had in England that's helped you feel more connected to the community. For example, is girls' empowerment. To be honest, I won't say I regretted coming to girls' empowerment. I can remember vividly that very day that I was just passing. I came to Tiobe that day to wash. My washing machine was down, and I just saw them. I saw people coming out, and I just went in, asked them what they're doing there, and that's it. And there was an issue that happened between a child, I think, because one of my children she's so emotional. She always wants to force herself on, once she likes someone, she was like, once she likes someone like that, and the person doesn't really, doesn't pull back. She kind of, she'll be crying and say, I don't know what happened, but all I heard is that she said she's going to kill herself, kind of, maybe if that girl doesn't want to play with her or something. So later on, I was being asked to come down to the office. I had a chat one-on-one with Tayo, and from there, I now shared my experience, what I was passing through. I bless God for that very day, because that day actually changed my life. So, yeah, I will say that I didn't regret coming to knowing girls' empowerment. So having this kind of empowerment, empowering people in our community is a great thing, and they've really helping, in England as a whole. So that's a little thing I can share. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lynette Semwayo. I'm from Zimbabwe. The paper I have here, it says, describe a meal or food tradition from your culture that you enjoy with your family. For me, I enjoy my sadza with vegetable and meat. And actually, I have a variety of stuff that I enjoy from my culture and other cultures as well. And I really enjoyed it because back home, Christmas time when we were growing up, we would go to the village, they would kill a cow, and we eat as a whole family, we'll be sharing. It would be a very, enjoyable experience for us as we are growing. And with my kids here in the UK, that kind of mom that when I cook, I just cook one meal. I don't do what other moms do. You eating different types, different. What I cook is what is going to happen on that day. So if you feel you are not ready for it, on that day you sleep with bread, because I will not cook 2 different meals. So yeah, that is me.
Hello, everyone. My name is Melody Ndanga. I'm from Zimbabwe as well. And my paper reads, what is one thing you appreciate about the parenting style in your new country, England? Right. With me, it's openness. That's one thing I appreciate. Because having been a teenage mom, one of the things we don't discuss about things like contraceptive back home, even with your parents. You figure it out yourself. When either it happens, that's when you know, okay, I shouldn't have done this. But in this country, even from the young age at schools, we have got school nurses. You encourage kids, once they start being sexual active, you teach them about contraceptive, and you talk to your kids, you discuss. Back home, it's a taboo. You can't sit with your parent and talk about anything. Even at this age, when you see your mom, it's one of those things you can't talk about. But in this country, you can discuss with your children, and it's really good because that's why you see kids are free to go and get help or get checked or being on contraceptive because it's something you talk about, unlike back home. So in this country, it's the openness I appreciate.
Hello, my name is Oluwakemi Akinya. I've got here share a story about a time when you felt proud of your cultural heritage. Well, for me, it's respect. Like when we go outside, when we see our elderly, we have to kneel down and greet them. There is a scenario at my work. I've got like some elderly, mothers, I would say. And when I see them, I kneel down and greet them. And my colleagues will go like, oh, Kemi, why are you leaning down? Why are you doing this? And I say, it's my culture, so I have to respect them because where I'm from, when you see an elderly person, you have to kneel down and greet. I'll say, oh, don't do that at work. I say, no, I will do it because they're older than me. And then I'm proud of that. And I also teach my kids also that when you go out there, when you see an elderly person, greet them, lay down and greet them. Just don't say, hey, Luma, and you have to lay down. And for my boss as well, to them the same thing. So yeah, I'm quite proud of that, to be honest. We show more respect. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. You're welcome. Thank you for being a part of this program today. Like we usually say, if a program is organized at Girls Empowerment and it's just me and Gamu, or we members of staff, I'm sure we will not discuss within ourselves. It won't make sense. So we want to appreciate every time you leave your homes and all that and come for programs or online. I was saying, I recognize you. And then I remember, in the moment you mentioned Lynette, I remember, the contributions, everyone usually, your contributions during the sessions and all that. If there are people who I know stand out that would always have something really good to say, there's how you know people's names and you've not even met them. So I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has been a part of it. Even the virtual sessions, sometimes the first few minutes, it will just be quiet when you say people should contribute, and just one person begins to speak and then others begin to speak. So we want to say a big thank you. And just for us to remember also what Girls Empowerment is about. It's about, like we've said, community. It's about knowing that you have somewhere that you can come to for whatsoever the case may be. If it's something we can sort, we try to do it. If it's something we cannot sort immediately, if we have to do referrals and all that, that's the whole point. And then to meet people. Some of us, the isolation, the loneliness, it can be lonely after you've just relocated. What am I saying? It is lonely. There are different people that I've met in Girls Empowerment that they've been, just their suggestion about something has been a solution to something I've been, thinking about. So just find it easy to reach out to one another, to talk. It's about peer-to-peer mentoring and all that. So we want to say a big thank you. And then for the topic for today, cultural differences and the issue of parenting, of course we know it's different. But one thing I'm going to say, as my own contribution, is that I love some parts of the Asian way of building communities. It doesn't matter. See, no matter how you are speaking the big English, what they do in their culture, that child will learn. When Lynette was saying, whatsoever she has made is what she has made, that's how I run it. If you like, in fact, I won't even give option of bread. Because it's good. You have this, you have that. There's just a lot we can actually learn. If not, except if maybe a child has allergies or is allergic to that. But if there's no serious thing, there is a lot we can learn. I don't know how many Asian people, their parents will cook. You now say, I'm not eating. They say they are going for events, something that is traditional. You will wear that traditional outfit. Go and speak your British English there. It doesn't matter. But you will learn. And these are things that we can also, learn, make it better in the way we imbibe the good parts of our culture into our children. Whether we like it or not, Africa has a lot of good values. One of the mothers was talking about respect. It's good to say, when children just see and say, hello. I know some children that when you say, how are you? The child too will say, how are you too? I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but there is a way to say how are you to an elderly person and it will make sense. There's just a lot that we can actually teach them. It's not everything from Africa. In fact, quite a number of things from Africa is good. So let's remember, we know the culture shock and all that, but we also know that the good ones, let's write it out. Respect, values, remembering. Some children, like somebody said, some children don't want to see anything that is outside the English wear, and it doesn't make sense. I tell my children, you better remember where you are from. Me, I don't have time for you anyway. It's what I buy, you will wear now. So there's just how we can imbibe many things and learn and know that which exists here. The good ones that exist here, digital technology and all that, go and check. Like, if we're talking about Asian children, a lot of times the doctors, everything, they teach them all the digital, but they will still know culture. So there is a lot we can do. There's there's a lot we can learn in merging these cultures, and that's why we're here today, to just have everyone say their experiences and how we can merge this culture for our children to be, do I say, wholesome, to have a little bit of every good stuff. So thank you very much. My own, what role does extended family, extended family is important. In Nigeria, if you give birth, or in Africa generally, I think I've heard from other people, if you give birth, you are assured that you will receive help. They will bring pepper soup for you and all that. Here, you are by yourself. Like, you would do it yourself if you are not capable. If you have extended family, it's still easy to sleep. It's a struggle. Those ones that they will say, mother and child, they will come and do a mugo. For where? Don't go and cook. So there's a lot extended family can do. He says, how has that changed since moving to England? It has changed in the way that I only plan for my life and how to sort myself. You can't plan on anybody that is not available. And some of them are in England. It's just that they are busy. The person has gone for shifts. Come the next morning, you will now say, come and help me bathe baby. It's not working. But in the midst of it all, it's good to have family. We are family. Like, I've seen people help me beyond what my immediate sibling could have done. I'm telling you the truth. I know it's a world where we have good, bad people. We have different... there's something, I think it's in Nigeria, I don't know if it's Africa generally, that says that if you close your eyes and say because a bad person is passing by, you won't know when a good person will pass. People misbehave, that's the truth. But sometimes the person who misbehaved today can still be helpful tomorrow. So let's just have a sense of community. We have our differences, but what unites us is much more than what separates us. So thank you so much. That's the basis of we being here today, sharing experiences, talking about all that England has showed us and how we are thriving in the midst of this situation. So thanks a lot for coming, and have a wonderful time.
Thank you, Temi, for such a long speech. All right.
Hello, everybody. My name is Antonia Atorashe. And my topic is, can you let me concentrate? You're stressing me out. My topic is share a story about a time when you felt proud of your cultural heritage. One of the time I felt really proud is when you go out, when you go churches, or when you go parties. And we Africans, we do very well, especially Nigerians. I know Ghanaians too do. I know Africans do generally, but Nigerians, in fact, we're too much. We stand out. We put everything in. We try so hard to make sure that day they can see us. You don't even have to say anything. They can see you. You're here. So I like that we're abroad and we still continue that trend from back home, And then the other thing is our food. There was a wedding I went in Milton Keynes, and the guy was married to a white lady, and when it became reception, there was no chin-chin, there was no popcorn, there was nothing going on. So we're just sitting there, dying in silence. Then when it got to a point, I said, my ulcer will burst. I ain't sitting here anymore. So we all went out with the children. Children were like turning red. Everybody was, and I'm like, what is this? So everybody just kept getting up, going out of the reception to eat something. Then when you come back, go and eat your own. We're telling each other there's chicken and chips. So everybody just had to eat. There was no food, nothing like jollof rice going. Nigerian party, no jollof rice. There's a problem. So there was no chicken, nothing, until probably about 3-4 hours into that wedding, and people were starving. And then they brought all those, things going on. I'm glad I can eat anything. But what about the children? If they can't eat everything like you? So I still appreciate, I still appreciate, the fact that we Nigerians, or more, we are champions. When it comes to food, when it comes to fake respect, we are there. If that one, fake respect. Oh yeah, fake, there's a lot of fake respect. I'm from Edo State, and I'm married to a Yoruba person. Where I come from in Edo State, we don't kneel down to greet anybody. You stand, you bow, you can bow a little bit. I mean, you can put a little bit of your personal respect in, but that kneeling down, for me, it doesn't work. But when I got married, no, don't even go there with me. No. Me, I don't play games. If I don't kneel down for my dad, I'm not kneeling down for your dad. That's me. You respect, I like the fact that you said you do that at work. I'm not going to do that. I would greet you. I would show you 100% of me. I don't do fake. So there's no point we doing all these things and then I'll stab you at your back. I've gone through that a lot. And I say that, what's the point of me giving you all that respect when I'm going to mess you up? Why? Why? So when I got married, I told them, I'm from this side, you can go find it about me. And then I've got arthritis in my knee. You would not expect me to kneel down. Oh, Jesus Christ. They went straight down to Nigeria and said, hey, if you see that girl your son wants to marry, 4 earrings, ha! By the time they finished it, grandparents were scared, this was this. But at the same time, I had somebody in the family giving me back the reports. So it would made it easier. So when the parents-in-law came and then they saw the real me, and they were like, huh? It was opposite. I would not fake to you. That one I will not do. I'll do what I'm going to do to my parents, to your parent. But it took a while though. But 25 years on, I'm still good.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zainab. Describe a meal or food tradition from your culture. Amala. Amala and begiri with ewedu, with assorted meats.
So maybe just to interject there, what's amala? If you can.
Amala is yam flour. Yeah, yam flour. Yeah. The begiri is from beans, but the ewedu, I don't know. So the combine of amala, begiri, ewedu, stew, assorted meats. God. Imoyo. Yes. Yes, so that's it.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eva Evanes Dube. I've been in Tilbury for over 20 years. I'm happy to be here. It's saying describe a festival or holiday from your culture that is important to your family. I want to talk about a wedding. I come from Zimbabwe. So weddings back home, they are very special. Very, very important that everybody from all angles, if they don't have bus fare or money will be sent for bus fare for them to come in. And, and it's such a very networking where you find people coming from different areas, rural areas, urban, depending where the venue is. And normally very special celebration where you see the traditional and the gifts are very unique. You find someone coming in offering a goat to say we are giving you a goat offspring which is going to develop and maybe start a family if you're starting a family. And also you have things like maybe that we don't value. You can even have the African broom, and we also have our African trays. Those are very, very important cultural gifts that, we may not value it now, but when I look back, I find that was very special and, it's quite unique. So, interesting, and food as well. So where there's a wedding, we know there's a lot of food. And again, it's not like an invitation kind of thing in Africa. So anyone can walk in our time. So anyone can pass and can have food, you know. So a wedding is a time to celebrate whether you are a stranger or you are new to the family. So I find it very important because it's not like invitation at the door, you know, compared to what we see now. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I'm also from Zimbabwe, so I can relate so well. Yeah.
I know I'm tall, but I like talking when I'm standing. Okay, my name is Martha. I'm also from Zimbabwe. Martha Mlambo from Zimbabwe. Then the question, what is a value or a lesson from your culture that you are teaching your children? For me, it's respect. Because from when I was born until now, I've been taught respect. So it's the same thing that I teach my children. I've got a 14-year-old and a 21-year-old, but I teach them respect, and respect starts from greeting elders. Because I know in this country, I've got my nephews and nieces that were born here, that have actually adopted the culture. When you walk into the house, they don't even recognize that you've come in, but not with my children. I've taught them that if a visitor comes in, whether you are playing a game with 500 of your friends that are in their houses somewhere, you stop, you come and greet the elders, and you go back. And I've also taught them, if they are from my country, we greet them in our language. Not how are you, we use our own language. Because I'm just trying to embed that culture that was embedded in me so many years ago. So that's what I can say.
Thank you, Martha.
Hello, everyone. I'm Loretta from Nigeria. And my question says, what is the value or lesson from your culture that you are teaching your children? Okay, one very important culture from my country is hard work. And I'm always on their case because you don't have big uncle here that will help you or that will connect you. So hard work is everything. And then also respect is also very important to open doors for our children. So those are the two things I'm teaching them.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jumoke, and the question I have here is, what is one challenge you have faced in parenting that is related to cultural differences? I'll say maybe it's discipline. Hello? Oh, sorry. And the question says, what is one challenge you have faced in parenting that is related to cultural differences? I don't know, it's the discipline. Here, discipline here is not as the way we used to back home. I'm from Nigeria. We value our parents, relatives, and all that. Here, I don't really see kids here, you know, if they see adults outside, even they will have to dodge just because to say hello, auntie, good morning, auntie. So here, the discipline here is not as strong as where we have back home. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So I think almost every one of us has said something, and it was a way to kickstart our session that we're going to be having. I'm trying to see if you can see the PowerPoint that I'm going to be doing today. Can you read from that? I know it's a lot of text from there, but I'm assuming we can see something. There are two screens, so, but either way, I'm sure my voice is as loud as possible. But our presentation today, or our topic of discussion today, is on exploring culture, identity, and experiences. And from all the short stories you were sharing, we were all somehow reminiscing or talking about our past and how good our culture was, how rich our African culture is. And today we are focusing on Africa as we recently celebrated Africa Day. And we've talked about so many things, be it respect, food, holidays, or events that we cherish so much from our culture. And that is the beauty of having a diverse culture, having all these small things that we value or that we then call culture, because culture is made up of a lot of beliefs and a lot of values that we take pride in, that we've learned as we grow up. But this has changed. Some of it has changed upon migrating to Europe or to England, to be specific. So our discussion today, we want to try and explore how then can we merge the two, our African culture or our cultures from our motherland and to the British culture that we are now in. I know some of us, we had so much of a culture shock when we came into England. I would give myself as an example. When I was in Zimbabwe, the England I thought and the England I met are two different things. I'm sure most of us can relate as well, that the England we met when we came here is different from what we thought, be it our parenting styles, some of the things that we do as Africans could be considered abuse when we come here. Some of the things that they consider to be normal or acceptable is unacceptable in our own cultures. Say, for instance, what, is it Lynette or Nyasha? Melody. She highlighted how talking about contraception or even sex education with our children, how much it is acceptable in this culture. In my culture, I'm Zimbabwean. It is something that you as a mother can't do with your daughter. Someone else, a friend, an aunt, should do that. It is because of the setup of our culture from Zimbabwe, how it is, or from Africa, that the community is very much involved in our parenting or in our bringing up of our children, as compared to here. Here it is each man for himself, God for us all. So, yeah, you're welcome. So it is that difference or that change that then you don't really understand what is right and what is not right. What should I do and what should I not do? I would give a very, very common one that is about discipline. Here we use boundaries. We put boundaries, reward, and all those little things that we do to motivate them to be of good character. But in our culture or back home, there is a lot more we can do with it. That it's not only about reward. A reward is not even there at times. It's not actually a negotiating platform, is it? It is more about yeah, we can all relate, is it? That when your mom looks at you with a certain eye, it is saying something. They don't have to say it in words, but rather it's just that look will tell you what you're doing is not correct. And if you don't understand that look, then comes the second one, which is a weapon, is it? But here, we can't use that because it is against the laws here. It is actually considered child abuse. And when you come into this country, you are not aware of all this. And at times, I'm sure some of us have had to have social services come knock to our doors, not because we thought we did it intentionally, but we thought we were doing something to correct our children or to bring up the good child that we have. I can also maybe share that even when we are in our home countries or in our education is something we take very seriously. I know in my country, if you fail a grade, you don't go forward. You repeat that grade. But when we came here, nothing like that is there. You just continue going. Whether you are excelling or not, you keep going. You keep going. They all go. You see. So it's that culture shock that we want to discuss, that we want to just have a time to discuss and help empower ourselves so that we know what is right from what is wrong within the new culture that we are living in now. I'm sure that is what we will have to learn and appreciate because it is the country that we are now staying in and we have to abide to it. Lest we have social services again coming to our doorsteps, and we would want to empower each other as sisters so that we don't have that. Not to say that social service is bad. It is there to help us, actually. I know most of us wouldn't want to be involved with social services, but to a greater extent, they are there to help us than to harm us. So let's... sorry? Oh, okay. Sorry, technology. So I would want us to then discuss on how culture and identity does play a bigger role in our parenting and in how we bring up our children. Just like I was saying, that we've got a lot of things that we've been accustomed to or that we've learned growing up that we need to unlearn. Be it using a weapon to discipline, we need to learn how to negotiate with our own children. Is it out? Somehow play around that word, negotiating, which is what we as mothers don't want to hear. When I grew up, my mom would tell me, I'm not your friend. I'm not your friend. You need to do this and that needs to be done. But now I find myself negotiating with my 6-year-old that, you know what, if you don't do this, then this won't be in place or this or that. But somehow as well, that much upbringing that we had has also benefited me in a way. I'll give an example. Yesterday, I was, in the place we stay, it's more of an estate-like. So the children there, it's very new, but the children now start playing with each other, start forming groups and all. So my 2 boys, I've always told them they don't need to ride their bicycles in the road, rather use the alleyways because of the cars. I'm always afraid anything can happen. So if I'm not outside, they can't, or their dad is not outside, they can't use the bicycles in the road. So the other children now were playing in the road. And upon playing, they were sharing. So my little one shared his scooter with a friend. And the friend left the scooter just across the road, the other side. And our house is the other side. So now he needed his scooter. But because he knows he can't go on the road, or else some of his privileges are taken away, he had to stand by the road there and ask one of the mothers that was outside with their children to please pass him his scooter. The mom says, you can come and get it. And he says, no, I can't. He kept standing on the edge of the road that, no, I can't because I can't. My dad said I can't go on the road. So they kept having that conversation. So I could see them having a conversation, but I didn't know what they were saying. So when I went there to find out what was going on, the mom says, I don't know how you've brought up your son, but this is quite good. I've been telling him to come and get his scooter, but he's been telling me, I can't, please, Mom, can you pass it to me? Not that I have used any other thing, but that reward thing is actually working as well.
Yes. Your child is just a good child that wants to listen to you. Mm-hmm. If it was another child, the child would cross, and when for example, my child will cross. And when I said, why did you say, but she said I should do it. So, so honestly, that child is at least the child that remembers where he came out from. I think what I should say is here, the children are more about the peers, though they want to listen, but once they see someone do it, they want to do it. A day my child, I don't know, she said, Mom, I think she was like 12, Mom, I want to go to cinema. I said, oh, sorry, if I'm not going to cinema with you, you are not going to cinema. I said, why can't I go to cinema? This person, that person, I said, you see me? You are not going. She got so mad. She said, why do we have to be different? Why? She was making a scene out of it. And then, usually I will calm down, and when he gets here, then I will spark. But that day, luckily, my brain worked. I didn't say nothing, and I said to her, look at me. This is me. I'm sorry. You can't change the person that mothered you, as in gave birth to you. And as well, I cannot change the daughter that I have. But you see this cinema case, you are not going to cinema without me going to cinema. And that's because I have overheard the conversation. They pack themselves to cinema. In that cinema, they start doing some sort of rubbish. And the cinema people just... So that is part of what she wanted to do. She got so mad at me and said, oh, Mom, we can't do this because are we the only one that is going to church? I said, no, this is not about church. This is about personality, because sometimes it got mixed up as well. Like you're trying to teach them the way of your belief and things like that. So it's just your child, really. If I wasn't at home that day, or probably I went to work and then I asked someone to stay at home, and she would tell me that, oh, Mom, it wasn't my fault. She asked me. She said I can do it. Meanwhile, she knew deep down that she shouldn't do it. So give that boy ice cream when you get it.
Thank you. So, like you are saying, yes, it does also do contribute that he does listen. And also, like you are saying, if you were back home, you wouldn't have to worry about all these things, because the community is there to help you raise the child. I don't know who said it, but someone just shared in here that back home, when they give birth, everyone is there to help out. But in this country, we don't have that. We only have ourselves. Luckily, if you have a sister close by, or a fellow, yes, if you have a good person follow.
It's just a good person. A human being. You can have your family here. They'll tell you, during my time, nobody helped me, so you're going to have to figure it out.
I don't know whether you ladies agree with me. Speaking our language with our children really goes a long way. Because I do, and though she will answer me back in English, I'll just say to her, like, are you listening? Yes. There was a time we were traveling and we were on the plane. I didn't know this African lady was actually looking at me because I was speaking in my dialect to my daughter, Yoruba. And she just said, Ma, I'm really proud of you. I said, what? She said, whatever it is you are saying to her, she's doing whatever it is you are saying. And she's the well-behaved girl in the plane, like nobody heard any sound from her. It's very, very, very important. With me, what you said you do with your own son, I don't do it with my daughter. You understand? She doesn't even, the kind of mentality I have with the way I was brought up, you don't have that thing whereby you have to question your parents. Though I know kids here, they question their parents, but I let my daughter know that I'm your mother. I gave birth to you. You don't even have the right to question me. What I say goes. You understand what I mean? She's an only child, but the way I deal with her, I don't even deal with her like an only child. I let her know as if I have 100 children. No, seriously, because kids in this country, you just give them a little, a mouth. They just, she doesn't even question me like, Mommy, I want to go. You're not going. All her friends, she's 10 years old. Most of her friends, they have cell phones. She was now saying something about cell phone. I said, Anoluwapo, I know you. You are my daughter. You get distracted easily. You know when you know your child. So, and I said, you don't have discipline. When they say don't do this, that's when you go and do it. I said, no mobile phone. Maybe when you start secondary school. It depends on the school you're going. But for now, mobile phone for what? You don't need it. So I think us speaking our dialect is very important, seriously. Because there's some things you want to say to them. When you say it in English, to me personally, I don't know how to explain it. But when I speak Yoruba to her, she'll come back and be shaking. Mommy, I'm sorry. I won't do it again.
Okay, I think when it comes to discipline and children listening, I think 90% of us have good kids. But like the way the topic has been going is the society we live in. For example, about 2-3 years ago, my daughter was sick. We went to the hospital and they kept saying, oh, maybe it's COVID, it's this, it's that. And thank God, sometimes God sent someone. There was a nurse. The nurse kept looking at me as to say she wants to tell me something, but because there were senior doctors there, she couldn't. But being, like we say, being trained and being able to read when someone look at you in a certain way, you know that, okay, when they're telling you, take your child, and the person is looking at you, and you know that this person is a nurse, there must be a reason why she's looking at you like that. Firstly, then I was like, no, I'm not taking this child. There must be something wrong. These doctors had the audacity to say they want to do a pregnancy test. My daughter was 12 years old. But the way they asked, they wanted me to leave the room. And I asked, why would you ask a 12-year-old? They said, oh, because 12 years old, she's old enough. Yeah. And when I said, no, I'm not going, they had to ask my daughter, is it okay for your mother to stay? And I looked at them and I was like, she is 12 years old. You are asking her if I should stay or leave. They're like, yeah, she's old enough. I'm like, she's 12 years old. What kind of decision can a 12-year-old make? So if she had told you, I don't want my mother there, you would have taken me out of the room. Okay, so sometimes as much as kids want to listen to you, they live around where, the society and the kind of things that are they give them the choice for them to say no to the parent or to say yes to them. You know, so as we are saying, you've got a good son. You've got a good child, because a child will come and say, but mommy, auntie said it's okay for me. I had an auntie was there, so she was looking at the road for me to pass. I know my teacher will cross that road and tell you, but auntie said it's okay. So sometimes when you have a good child, you're like, God, I thank you. I've got 4 kids, and I can guarantee what, if somebody comes to me and tell me what my daughter did, I'm able to say, it's not my daughter. I can swear that things she's capable of doing, and I've got a son that I will say, okay, I will have to go home and sit. I can't defend him in certain things because I know the things that he can do. You know, no matter how much you discipline. I remember our last meeting that I was there, we talked about PlayStation. And I was like, no, I've got it under control. Auntie, it was the biggest mistake of my life. All the rules that was put down, all the discipline, all the this, mommy, I won't do. He's had the PlayStation in December. I've seized it more than 10 times. This is with all the discipline, all the correction, all the... When my son is on that page, he's like this. You talking to him, Tisha, go and eat. Mommy, I'm coming. Mommy, I'm like, Tisha, drop it and go and eat. You know what he finally tells me is that, Mommy, I need to talk to you. He came to meet me. I need to talk to you. I said, what is the problem? He said, Mommy, do you understand that when I'm on the game, I'm not playing alone? So I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, because I've got people, we are a game. Yeah, so if I leave, they will die and I will be back. And I'm like, it's a game. You know what? Now, I would, anybody that kill all of them. So now, if anybody tells me that, oh, my child doesn't listen, my child this and that, because I told Antonia that, no, I'll get it, it's under control, it's this. And now I look at it and I'm like, you know what? I spent £700 as the biggest mistake I made.
Yeah, I just wanted to... Yeah, I wanted to say on what Auntie's been saying about your...
The discussion is getting hotter and hotter. Can you
Okay.
put it closer?
Oh, okay, my one is brief. I just wanted to relate to what Auntie's been saying about the 12-year-old that, they were asking you to come out. But I just want to make you aware that there are contraceptive clinics for the 11-year-old, is it 12-year-old? There are special clinics for those who work in healthcare. There are some clinics for young people where you mothers don't even go. So when I was in that clinic, I was so surprised. 9, 10-year-olds are coming to get condoms. So you don't know. When they are saying pregnant test, they know what they mean because they know what they are giving them. They give them condoms. They tell them that you can do anything yourself and your child can have abortion without you knowing, and you would not even know because they've already promoted that culture that you can get condoms, you can go and sleep around, and you can still come back and we can talk about the abortion. So these are the challenges that we are facing. So we need to be aware of what are the challenges that our children facing because we are telling them, but there's another voice which is saying, well, you can have sex. Yes, you can actually use a condom. Yes, we can give you the condoms. They are free and you can come and take them. And they have actually like a discreet door. You wouldn't know. They even go in uniforms. They actually go and dish them out. They just walk in, they give in condoms in their school uniform. So these are the challenges that we are having. So I just thought I would relate on that. It's more than that. Thank you.
I think to add to what she just said, this thing about sexual education, unlike in our countries, in this country it starts at an early age. My son, last year, he was 8. That's when he told me, Mommy, do you know what we learned today? And he explains the whole process of sexual intercourse.
Sorry, sis. Did they ask you for a consent? Because I took my child out of it. I said my child is too young.
For us, it was it was more or less consent, but they were actually telling you that the child needs to learn that because it's part of the curriculum.
Let me explain.
But
my son has got autism. Already in the house, he follows me to the toilet, follows me everywhere. So I know, now they're now teaching this thing. He's now aware. Then he's back looking.
Yes.
Thank you. So I told the teacher that this is the problem. So what if I think sometimes we need to put our foot down and speak.
You know that sometimes as much as we don't want those kids to attend those classes, it does more harm.
Yes.
No, they did teach him, but
because when they
didn't
go
teach him
out,
the general thing. Because I explained my situation.
When they go out, what has been taught, some of the friends turn it into a way that it's different from what they teach them in class.
If I didn't speak, then it will have done more. I know my child, I know already because with me and him, he follows me when I'm bathing, I need to open because so he can know that I am here. So he sees.
But yours is different because it's on the spectrum.
Yeah, but then if I was so scared when I saw everything listed and what they were gonna. The child already sees me anyway. He's not aware of so the thing is, once they told him, because for me, I try to explain things to him as well at home because because the sister is a big girl, there's a big gap. So I said, when he looks, I said, we are different. Mommy is a girl and you are a boy because he always wants to be a girl and that's because he's around girls. I need to explain. And then because of his, the situation that I have. So once you notify him, they actually put clitoris and everything there. So
now the books that we even have in school, it's not a matter of even saying a female and a male. They've got both males, they've got both female.
But then, see, the boy sees me, he knows we are different. But it's just like pointing to mommy's thing and saying this is clitoris, this is this. You understand what I'm saying? We share the same bed. It's like that time he's going to be 5 years old. They want to teach him these things. So once they tell him, then he start looking for it. So in school where the teacher's eyes are not everywhere, then they start, it can make them start touching each other because of this autism thing, the kind of the way he learns. So the teacher did help me. She said, you know what, it's good you call my attention to this. I'll tell him, I'll find a way to tell him. I will not tell him beyond, the way they were going to tell them in the class. It's like, this is, no, it's like pinpointing the whole thing, and then the boy will start, any visitor that comes in, it's true now, when the visitor comes, and then the boy will go and start, I think there should be a balance. I understand what you're saying, so they don't get abused, because, I want my child to be aware as well. But children are different. Their development is different. Their learning phase is different. It's just like you now calling the attention to, and in the house we are girls. He was the only boy at that time. Now he's got a brother. So he knows perfectly that they are different.
It's quite unfortunate in this country we are living to say the way they teach people, or we don't want it to happen, but it has happened. So just to add what you just said, I was once placed in a local school with the school nurses, and believe me or not, after that session I said, I'm a parent, I've got young kids, I don't think I'll be able to, due to my culture. A session on a Tuesday, we used to run it on a Tuesday morning. Believe me or not, 12-year-old walked in, and the nurse was having this conversation with the girl to say, oh, so how is it going? Because apparently she was complaining about how painful it was when she was sleeping with the boy. So they'll now teach you about the lubricants and things. I could not believe it, but the nurse said, unfortunately, we have to teach them. And yes, school nurses, 12-year secondary school. This is a 12-year-old, and there is a school nurse. Every Tuesday, there was a session being run, and the kids will come. There's a room where you are placed, and the kids know, they come in their uniforms. I could not believe a 12-year-old discussing this. When I finished, I said, I don't think I can work here, because, but this is it. So at home, you might not know, but this is what they'll be talking about. So your child, regardless of how you instill your own values at home, but the peer pressure at school. At school. So they won't just come and mention it to you, but they'll be doing it, or they'll go and find out. So even the abortion thing, they can do it without you knowing, because they're allowed to, they've got the consent. They can say, no, you don't need to know, and you wouldn't know.
Okay. To be honest, sometimes this type of discussion really saddens my heart, because as much as we think this is, we are all mothers, I know, we don't find it like funny. But the damage this has caused a lot of families in this country. And what I found really annoying is the fact that when she was talking about a 12-year-old, I found it hypocritical, to be honest, that when it comes to certain situations, you want these 12-year-olds to have a say, to say, oh, they are matured enough to decide if they want to have abortion, if they want to keep having sex. On the other hand, there are issues that you feel as the government say, okay, the parent, for example, I was part of a discussion one time, and this 13-year-old girl, she decided like, okay, I don't want to stay with my family anymore. I want to, something happened. And then say, okay, I've been told that I have rights, to report it, to be, I can even be taken away from the house and be given some. So this girl actually ran away from the house. And the social service brought this girl back to the parent, like say, okay, well, she's still underage, she has to be under, even the parents say, okay, if you don't want to listen to us, it is our rules in this house. You are under, when you have your freedom, do whatever you like. As long as you still live in this house with us, you have to obey the rules. And the social service said, no, if those rules are against whatever, they can take. Okay, the parents said, okay then, take her, go, you can leave. And the same people said, no, she's still underage. And she has that. I said, okay, what do you want? But when this 13-year-old decides that, okay, I can be having sex, and so you feel that is okay. So that is hypocritical. So I think it's so sad that even when she was talking about, like, we don't get help in this country, to be honest, many of us, the way we were raised,
We are strong like that, especially women. We have all the help, but the power has been taken away. There's so many things we can't even do. We know how to do, but we are not allowed. That is, our children know this already. They've been taught. They've been given all these lessons that, you have rights. Even when you as a mother feel like at home, you can't, they will remind you that, so it's so sad. I think that is what we are supposed to be looking into now as a community, how we can really, we are losing our children. So it's so sad.
I just wanted to say something in relation to what our sister here said. She said, talked about the video game and things like that. What I've done is that I came to understand that even the devices, when it comes, I learn how to use it first. So when I learn how to use it first, I put all the passwords. So before you use it, you come to me, I need the password. I need you to open it. So there's time for everything. So because it's time for everything, I control that device. If you're going to use it for 2 hours and 2 hours and that's it. So after the 2 hours, I shut it down. You cannot turn it on because you need my permission to get the password. That's one. Two, so now I'm able to control the boy. I control his time. Time for game, time to watch TV, time to read, time to do everything. And secondly, we come from a community, where our parents are strict. But here makes us to be a little bit soft, right? So I now come to mix the two together. Sometimes I'm soft, but you cannot misunderstand my softness as being your friend. I say, I'm your mommy, I'm not your friend. So when I'm not your friend, I say, look at my face, see, there's a language they call I. So you understand that this one is I. If you miss the first warning, the second time, you serve your punishment. There's punishment, I don't beat, but the punishment is so strong that I force you to do your punishment. So I've been able to regulate it. It's 7 and 8 now, 7 to 8 now. And sometimes, like this morning, I was like, this boy is getting well behaved though. You understand? But because there is a control, I play with you, I hug you, I give you a kiss, but at the same time, I put the ground rules, I'm strict.
Okay, hi.
So personally, in my house, PlayStation, from Monday to Friday, no one touches it. There's a password on it, so he doesn't touch it. The only time he touches it is Friday after school, and that's after he has done his homework, he goes on it. Saturday, he gets up, he does his chores, he goes on it. But you know one thing that has worked for me? In my house, my kids are more scared of their elder sister than me. Yeah. Sometimes she come like, who is the mom here? She is sometimes I look, I'm like, who raised her? My Tumibi will eat and leave the plate, and when you say Titi is coming, she will run, take the plate to the kitchen. Daddy is coming, she's got daddy round around her finger. But they are more, so I then decided to make Titi in charge of it. And that was the best decision I made. If she says no, it's no. Even if I go to her and I say please, she will tell me, Mommy, no. So sometimes it's trying to find someone in the house that they are more scared of. A lot of us say, Mom and Dad are more, but in my house, even Titi, if Titi tells me, Mommy, no, it's no. She's a very disciplined child, and she's only 16.
Can we have one meeting, ladies?
And sometimes it surprised me. I'm like, you know what? I've raised a good one. Because she's a disciplined child. She comes home and she tells you, Tumibi, go upstairs and put your uniform off. She will go upstairs and do. When she does something like it is coming, she will be up and running. So I think with the PlayStation, he cannot come back from school. Everything is there, the controllers are there, everything. There's a password on it. But on that weekend, when he's playing he will tell you, Mommy, I do everything. It's only Saturday and Sunday afternoon that I have with my friends. And sometimes, as much as we want to be strict, we also need to give them that. I work in a surgery, and do you know how many, especially our colors, and I'm sure most of us here are professional and we work within the NHS, you know the things we get coming through where children are wanting to kill themselves. Parents are as much as we want to discipline them, we also need that we live in a system that we have to be careful. Depression, my sisters and aunties, The depression of kids, every single day you look at, and I'm talking about us. You look, if sometimes I look and I'm like, what are we doing? As much as we want our kids to excel, sometimes we push them to the point where a child will tell you, they will come in for appointment, they will tell you, I don't want the parents there. And as all of us are aware, when a child reaches 16, they are allowed to come in and they will tell you, even if the child is 12 years old, and tells the GP that I don't want my mom or dad in the room, you will have to stand outside. And most of these ones are telling them how much mom is forcing me to do this, dad is forcing me to do this, I don't want to do this. I want them to be doctors, lawyers, this and that. You can't do this at home, you can't do that at home. Sometimes we do have to give them a bit of an alleyway for them to, they've got to experience it in order for them to be able to handle themselves when they go out. They're going to go to colleges, to unis, and they will live outside the house. As much as I've said here that my Titi is very wise, sometimes when I go, it's because she's always around me, she doesn't do things by herself, that when I go to Asda with her, and I tell her to go in and buy, she's like, Mommy, come with me, and I have to tell her, no, you need to be doing this yourself. You'll be going to uni, you go to college, I'm not going to be there, to the point that she said, oh, Mommy, I want to go to uni around, and I'm like, no, you need to go outside. So we need to start now. We can't always protect them. As much as we want to, we can't. They will go outside and go into a movie. When my child wants to go to a movie, like you said, as much as sometimes we overhear their conversation, I would take you. You will go to that movie. Yeah, you will go with your friends because they need the friends. They cannot live without them. Okay, then that is different if there's an underlying issue. Yeah, with an underlying issues, and we all go back again where freedom, kids have this freedom that they feel. If I tell you my son has called police for me, I don't, you know what, somebody will break in a house. I've never seen police come to a house so quick in my life. All because he wanted to watch TV and I took a remote control from him and I said no.
To cross me from when I was back in Nigeria. I was bubble baby. So I tried not to raise my child like that. But the problem what I encounter here is it's like I've never seen it before. And another problem is I'm by myself because my daughter insisted that because I can't let you go out and come back 10 o'clock. There's a lot of things she wants to do. She says she's not staying. Oh, you know what? The friend that she wants to go with, I let her go with them eventually because I got tired. I've called everybody. I let her go. She went. And then now that thing now make her break down badly. She doesn't want to go to school. She will leave the house. She will not get to school. School will come in and said, police is coming. Then he got to a point and said, okay, let police come. They should carry me. So, but luckily, the social had already gone involved, and they said, we are not taking her anywhere. Because when she came, I said, oh, good, it's even good that it was you that called them. I took the lady upstairs, showed her some things. The lady was going to vomit. I said, I'm sorry, I have to let you see what I'm going through. If you don't see, you don't understand. They said, no, she's not going anywhere. And then they called other people, and they came in, and then the man said to me, you know what we've seen here? When we've taken children from their parents, those children that we've taken away, their life is not okay. Because each foster parent starts sending them away. And then so they refused to take her. So what they did was got some people to work with her, some people to work with me. So when they were telling us, saying to them, I haven't restricted this girl. She has everything she wanted. All I'm saying is, don't go wondering about she will say, why can't I stay at the back of the house when I can see all of these Oyinbo people smoking? You want to join? I haven't done anything. I said, don't go to Lakeside and be abusing people that has not done anything to you. Like they will see dwarf, they will be.
started to negatives.
Hey, thank you. So the thing is so much that she had to go to my sisters. My sister said, oh, you are doing this. You don't. My sister took her. My sister left her in the hospital. She never went back. They had to call me from here to come and take your child. So the thing is not easy. Even me, I got to a point. If it wasn't that I had the two boys, well, I would have hurt my mother. But let's just. This place is not a straightforward thing, then.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to talk about her when she was in nursery. And, you know, when you teach your child, can you go put that thing back on? Thank you very much.
Can we have one meeting, ladies?
Can you make it go louder a bit? Thank you very much. And I don't want you to button. Thank you. So I've told her, no touching, no, so she knows, no, anybody cannot, nobody. So she came home and said, Mom, my friend said I should pull up so he can look. I said, look at what? And I said, what did you do? She said, I screamed. And I told the teachers. So I said, okay, yeah, so that worked. But you know the thing is, they will not call you and the boy's mother to have that conversation. So they called her separately and they called me separately. And I said to them, you know, I've been in this school for a long time. All my kids have passed through this school. This is the last one, the fifth one. So please, don't joke with me like that. Those ones were boys. She's a girl. You know, it's quite different. And then there was something again you guys were talking about, boy children, yeah? Let's talk about boys' children. My son, the 16-year-old came home and said, Mom, they pulled me up at school today and said, the 12-year-old told them, we don't have computers at home. We don't have laptop. We don't have nothing at home. And I said, yeah, what I've been saying has actually come out. And there was a text he sent, and he said to my big one that, look, if I get into trouble, you're dead. Told the big brother, this is the 12-year-old. This is 21, didn't make me go through hell like this. The 18, I didn't go through that. The 16, that one is like rebellious, but it would still know you're the parent. I didn't go through that. But what is this last boy? Then we've been telling him, do your work. Oh, I've done it. Bring it. He brings whatever he wants to bring and he will show you. But the mistake I made was, I don't know where they look at certain work that they are supposed to do online. I didn't know where to search for those ones. So I got a bit tired with that aspect. I was like, this one is my major work, the other ones, the 18-year-old is like your daughter. It doesn't take rubbish. If I make a toast for this one, she's going to tell me to cut the edges. With the 18-year-old, she eats the edges. With the 16, she eats the edges. So why am I the fool in the house that would have to cut the edges? She would waste food. So when the teacher called and they said, unfortunately for my son, there was a meeting the following day in the school. So we all went to the school with the dad. And then before I get to that point, he wrote to the brother, oh, if you'll be done, if dad, And then he said, I'm dad's favorite. And that was where his problem started. That was where his problem started. Dad thought, you are the bully. You're bullying him. I said, how can everybody, all of us in the house, bully one child if there is no problem? Then he said, if he does something, they didn't let me play with this, and I'm there looking at him. If I question him, he's going to march down. Why did you say it? Then I'll put the dad, don't even start it. You're not here. I am here. I see everything. He's wrapped you around his finger. For him, any child that says, I'm your favorite, if you don't stop it, you will face the hell. Because that child has noticed some weak point in you and they will enter you. So when he said that thing, and when me and the 16-year-old started attacking dad 2 days ago, he couldn't say, we make sure we shut him down. And I said, when we correct this boy, let us do the work. You are spoiling the work I am doing. this is not right. I've been the one looking after them. You're not here. Your work, you're doing, And then when we got to the teachers, you know what the teacher said? He said, listen, I've seen your children. I know the older ones. I know what I'm hearing. Might be true. Did you hear that? Might. Because he cannot just say my other son, the 12-year-old, is lying, right? She can't say that. So she said, okay, he said you don't have computers at home. You don't have this in the house. I said, what about the S9? Who takes the S9? He couldn't speak. That S9 works faster than any. I've never seen a phone. It's old Samsung, but just put anything on. That thing goes faster than my own new phone. I said, you take the S9. Why can't you do your Google Classroom? Or come on now. We bought you another phone 3 months ago. You said, oh, the other phone was lagging. The teacher was looking at him like, yes. I said, you said your phone was lagging. You got another phone. And then there's my own phone here you can use. There's 3 tablets sitting there. There's 2 computers sitting there. They're new ones. You can open the boxes and use them. Your dad's phone, Tobiah has 2 laptops. 1 screen is broken. You can borrow 1. Roman has 2 HP tablets. What are you talking about? And then the school was looking at me. And every one of them said, we know you guys. We know your kind of parenting. We know you don't joke with your children. You are one of those who pay for anything the children would do. You know what you would then do? Oh, I forgot to tell you to pay for my trip to France. Why did you forget? Oh, I thought you didn't have the money. Why are you helping me to thought? Don't think for me. That's the game he plays now, to avoid going on a group, whatever they do. So what I do to the school is I call the school, is there a space? The space goes so quick, secondary school. So I said, oh, if there's a space, let me know. But there's something with the God I serve. He would tap me, call the school. And when I called the school, oh, we just opened 3 spaces. Put his name there, I'm paying now. I don't even know how to say this. But you see, when God sees your heart, that you're pained, it might not answer some other things you want right now, but you understand. So I called the school. On that Friday, it was hot in that school. Imagine every teacher you speak to, they say how good he is, but then they say, oh, he doesn't do his homework. That's not good. What good is that? Why are you bubbling, rapping rubbish? Say rubbish as it is. So I said to him, what is going on with you? You know what is going on with him? I'm his mom. I know what he's doing. He's on the phone. And all they talk about is rubbish. And then when he gets up, when you tell him by 8 o'clock, don't talk to no friend, then that's when you see him doing homework on the train. His brother says, Mom, I saw him doing on the train. I was ashamed. I couldn't sit with him. Yes, they could not sit with him because this is not how they were trained. So where did this one come from? So now, every child is different, I know, but there is a rule. There's things they go through, but this one lacks everything. It doesn't follow any instruction. And when you tell him, when you talk to your child, you guys talk this way, looking at each other. This one is like this. And I keep telling him, look at me. And he's like this, look at me. He's like that. Look, oh my goodness. And I didn't stop, because if you get tired, that means there's more problem coming. You cannot get tired. And that's where I stand. I said, and this is the same boy that, as ill as I can get, is the golden. Imagine. He is the most caring. He will sit with me and nurture me. He's like my mother. Imagine the way our mother looks after us. This same person is the one that would carry you. But when it comes to that education, it's like, I don't need it. But I tell him, boy, you need it. You don't have to, if you finish your secondary school, or you don't want to go to a uni, there's other things you can do. But this little one that would, put you on that right path, you need it. So the thing I'm just trying to tell all the parents is, just continue to tell them. Let's not get tired.
All right. All right. We are running out of time now, but I'm going to ask for a few more contributions. I can see our topic is heating up, interesting, and everything now. We're going to just have maybe 3 more contributions before. I've just shared with you the evaluation forms. Feel free to write honestly what you feel, and also if you can maybe give suggestions on what topics you want us to discuss in the next sessions we will have. So I'll have 3 people who are burning to share. I've got one here. All right. And any other person who is burning to share something. All right. So I'll start with you.
What I would say is, parents, we have a lot of work to do, fine. Then there must be cooperation between the father and the mother. When someone is bringing it up, the other party should not be bringing it down. Because in a situation whereby one is bringing it up and the other one is bringing it down, there will be a problem with the children. Because I could remember being the only female child of my parents, I was thinking that I should enjoy the life. I should be treated like a queen. But, oh my goodness, it was worst. Because there is no specialty about being the only female child. They did not spoil me, they didn't do anything. So it was, and the way our parents, the way we were brought up, if we can put a little bit in our children too, it will help. I think it will really help. You know, we our African parents, if they, with eye contact, looking at the child alone, it goes a long way. That if they use their eyes to beat someone last song, the child will know there is trouble. Not until you talk or until you raise your hand. Then in everything, what is good in prayer and what is bad, it also needs prayer. So we should be committing them in God's hands. And I know by them, the Lord will help us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I would like to add on about, let me stand up. Okay. I would like to add on about us parents as well. As much as we need also to learn, we are now in a different country. That's what we need to learn before we start dealing with the children. Because the way we were brought up and the way we are bringing up our children is a totally different thing. So, from what Auntie said about her 12-year-old, if we are to look at the situations that we normally come about, it's because we are still thinking about Africa. We are using our African mentality in a European country. And then if we do that, the fight is going to be there. It will be there. Because if you are to look at most of the white children, they don't get pregnant as much as our own children. You understand? Why? Because they are introduced into these contraceptives, these clinics, whereas your child starts to say, God forbid, in which country? My mother never did. Yes, because we are coming from a different community. With the white culture, their children, yes, they will have children at an early age. You find that their children will have boyfriends. You see them at like bus stops after school. At bus stops, 10-year-olds, they'll be hugging like this. Even kissing in front of you, you understand. As a black parent, you'll be looking and you'll be like, this is bad. But unfortunately for them, these 2 10-year-olds will be together until they get pregnant at 19, 20, and they look after each other. Whereas ours, this child that we are chasing every day, no, you don't do this, you don't do that, I don't want to hear it. Unfortunately, at 18, she goes to university. She meets somebody. who's been doing it, and she's not been doing it. And then unfortunately, she gets excited. She meets this one person that they're not even compatible, but because they've just met at a party and all that, next, our daughter is pregnant. You understand? Yeah, because they don't have that exposure. As much as we are parents, let's give them at least their small space with also rules. Because if we lock them in, it's us who will suffer. That's one thing we should know. If it's us, it will come back to haunt us. Because I know we can be mad. We mothers, we can be mad. But at the end of the day, it will come and haunt us. So as much, isn't they say when you beat a child with this hand and this one bring it. So just give them their space. Okay, what time are you going? There was an aunt who was saying they were negotiating with their child. You talk, what time are you going? Are you going to the party? Okay, you can not only go from this time to this time. Don't let them tell you the time. It's you, because you know your child. And we know how our child weaknesses are. So at least let's give them, because the day they will come out when you are not there, that's when everything will go bad. So let's remember we are in Europe. Remember we are in Europe. I think I've spoken, I've spoken to you. We've spoken about mental health. Mental health is real. Mental health is real. I work in mental health. You understand? I see children who cut themselves. And when you hear the reason, it's so stupid. You understand? Very stupid, because my mommy didn't allow me to do this. And the sad thing, I don't lie, I don't know whether I'm so... When it's a white and a black person, the feelings are different. Because as soon as I get used, with white people, you'll be thinking, it's their normal thing. They do it every day. And then when you see someone, you hear, this child is from Nigeria, Zimbabwe. And you're thinking, what nonsense is this? Yeah. No, because you'll be asking, what nonsense is this? Because you didn't go out. Yeah. You didn't go out, you're cutting yourself. You didn't. Me, I remember when I was growing, my friend would come and tell my father or my mother that it's my birthday next week, and can I invite Lynette? And my dad would say, yes. And we'll be happy. Come Saturday, I'm dressed, I'm ready. I'm now, since he would have said yes. I'm going. Dad, I'm going. Going where? Go back inside in the house. So some of the things that they do to hurt themselves, these kids here, I'm telling you, if back home, the things that I used to, the things that our parents used to do to us, probably all of us would be dead. Yeah, we would have committed suicide, I'm telling you. Because just visitors coming home, your mom would look at you. That eye is telling you that, you saw people you are not greeting. You will stand up, you greet them. You will go and sit down. That eye will give you that, so you are sitting with adults. You will stand up on your own. Or the eye will just tell you that, so you are not even offering them anything. It's just the eye. But here, why are you giving me the eye? Even the mom will, and sometimes as parents as well, we are our own problem. No, that's what she does. Which one? That one she does. She does what? Is it a course or what? She'll do that. This one, don't worry. That one. That's what she does. Tomorrow she'll embarrass you. You'll be crying.
That's giving the evil way now. Just like saying, we should let them behave like these people small. This is what, yes, because at a point I got tired. I let go. I let go because
sometimes it's good to let go, because at the end of the day, you also have your mental state that you have other children that you need to look after. You understand? Because if you just leave it like that, you won't be able to look after the other children. Silence sometimes kills our children. Because every day they know, every day they've done this. Hey, she knows mom will shout and it will be over. But there's a time you need to be quiet. Let him do whatever rubbish he's doing. He will be shocked. Why is this woman not talking? Yeah.
I don't like it when you
exactly. So, concentrate on those who need to be parented. You'll be talking to them, laughing. When whoever it is, joins the naughty one, you just keep quiet. Oh, mommy, this, okay.
They don't like me.
Last week, I went to my friend's house. Last week, I went to my friend's house. The daughter was misbehaving. The mom told her off in front of me. And she just said, okay, from now onwards, you are the mother of the house. Auntie, this one is now the mother. So if you want anything, me, I'm sitting down. She's the one in charge. She came back later and said, I don't like it when you're... Because now we're now calling, when we wanted anything in our language. Mama, we want this. Mama, please, I'm not mommy. My name is so and so. I'm only... I said, your behavior is showing us that you are the older. So please, mental health is real, mothers. Look after yourself because we won't be able to look after your kids. You know. Thank you.
Thank you. Two last ones, then we are gone.
Sorry, what I wanted to say is, I think the problem, what I have noticed with my child is, when we teach them something else at home, they teach them the opposite in school. Yeah, they do. They do, because my one teacher told my daughter, I don't know, they created a scenario though, and then somebody eventually told me it's called reverse psychology. So they created a scenario, I don't know what they were looking for. So, you know, when they created the scenario, and I said, oh, that's true. Then they call her out. I said, oh, that happened. What is that? I needed to learn how to drive. And then I told my daughter, when you finish, she's in secondary school, when you finish, you need to come home and help me with your brother, just to stay in the house. I will have done everything. And the instructor is already there, sit outside. So just stay in the house while I go learn, and then I'll come back. It's just 1 hour. And the teacher told my daughter that it's not our responsibility. So she came, and then she started playing up. I didn't understand. And later she said, oh, it's not our responsibility. Then, okay, since I've been having issues, I just took it. I said, oh, no problem. Then it's my responsibility. So I started doing everything. I had to stop that. Yeah, I started doing everything. I started doing my own thing. Then what happens when she finishes from school? This is where I'm going. We have another African mother. She will carry my daughter in the car. You don't know me. And then she will take I don't know what is going on. She will take my daughter everywhere until when she's ready to drop her home. I don't say anything. But my mom is here. My sisters, they're all born here except me. So I told my mom about this. And I said, Mommy, this is what is going on. And I don't want wahala. Me, I'm a lone parent, so I'm tired of all these things. So she said, don't worry, don't say anything. But I was advised by other African parents that you need to report that person. But then I thought about it, what's the point? Then I will drag in another wahala again. So I kept on saying, leave the person, it's your daughter's choice. So what I wanted to say now is, recently, then my daughter was now saying, oh, Mom, do you know what happened? I said, well, if you want to talk, what happened? She now said, you see that girl, the one that the mom used to, she did something that she had a boyfriend. And this girl is in secondary school. She's, I think, a junior. When my daughter was in like JSS 3, she just entered secondary school. That a boy asked her to take a picture of, in the name of love. And she sent it to the boy. And the boy, and this girl cannot tell her mother. And this girl is really, she's really dying inside. She will lock herself, and then in the house they don't know what is going on. And then I felt bad as a mother. I said, Bulu, what did you tell her? Why didn't you? She now said, Mom, what do you mean, why didn't I? Can you imagine? I don't know what is wrong with me. I can't believe I was friends with. And this thing that I was dying.
She figured it out.
So it's I think the problem we have is like the two different, like, well, I'm not going to say, it's like when we have God and we have the other voice, and then we are both dragging. So I think that's what I wanted to share.
Thank you.
Yeah, one of the mothers talked not too long, that the last...
Can you put it closer to...
Okay, like one of the mothers talked not too long, that the values that we have from our mothers, we can bring it, we have lots to do. We mothers, we have lots to do. We shouldn't get tired, because when our mothers, when they look at her face, like she said, which is true, when they look at her face, we know what they mean. Like my mom, when you were saying you were going for a party or something like that, like she said, oh, you can go. Then when the day comes and you want to go,
oh, are you going to Empire Day or in fact, you yourself, you feel weak. You just go inside and you know. But I know when we come here, lot of things are different. But at the same time, we can still bring the values, and we have to start from the scratch. We shouldn't let them grow wings before we start. Even our language, we don't speak to them. If you look at Chinese people, when you're on train, you see they speak their language. Yeah, Asians, they speak their language to them. But some of us, we say, oh, they are born here. I mean, lot of things like that. We have to put it in consideration, because we shouldn't forget where we come from, and we shouldn't just overlook the culture and everything. And at the same time, I believe we have to train our child the goods and the bads and the consequence. Yeah, like when we're young, everything is happening here, happening when we are in Africa as well. But my mom will say, look, if you do this with a man, you will get pregnant. If you get pregnant, you won't be able to fulfill your education, and So if you do this, this will be the consequence. If you try, if you do this will be the consequence. So it's better we train them. We let them know the good. We let them know the bad ones. Then you let them know the consequence. That, oh, if I do this, I will disappoint my mom, and my education will be affected. Do you want to be like this? You want to be like that? We try to motivate them and pray along. Then I know the sky is the limit, and God will help us.
It's just something very short I want to say. In as much as we're all going through whatever we're going through, one thing I do with my boy is I always tell him, sometimes he acts crazy in school and school calls and everything. When I look at him, I say, you are the best boy in your class. He'll just think about it, and, in as much as the negative report is coming in, and sometimes we can see that he acts silly in the house, we still tell him, that you are the best. You are a good boy. You are this. So most of the time, we speak positively to his face. So he carries that thing inside of him that sometimes when he behaves, my husband will say, he's behaving older than his age. I say, just keep quiet. So it is good. Those, even if they are behaving wrong, they are behaving silly as children will always be children. Children will always be children. That best thing you see, you want them to be, you say it to their faces. Like our 15 years old, sometimes I tell her, you don't like wahala. And you don't like wahala because she's a very quiet, laid-back person. She say, yes. I say, everything your daddy wants you to do it because you don't want wahala, So she knows that. So that's what I want to say. We should add that to whatever we're doing.
All right. Thank you so much for the contributions, the exciting discussion we had. I know our time was a bit limited. It was 2 hours we had booked the venue, and we've gone over 20 minutes, but it's okay. And the discussion was quite interesting. We've all learned a lot from one another, how to deal with all these issues that we are facing in this new society that we've joined, and how best we can take advantage of that. There's a lot we can take advantage of. Our children now, I'm sure most of us, I'll speak for my country. In my country, we don't have free education. We've had free education here, which has been a plus for our children. Some are now even having better grades or all those. There's a lot of support we get here. It is parenting support we get, everything that we get. But also, let's not throw away our culture. Let's try and make it in. Introduce our own cuisines, that so they learn. Let's teach them our languages so that they still attached to our roots, such that when we go back home, they don't feel foreign or not part of the society that we all grew up in, but they still communicate. Let's continue to FaceTime our families back home, WhatsApp our families, but also let's also be vigilant about our children's participation in we've allowed our children to be part of these platforms, but again, we need to be very cognizant of the age limits, because it is on these platforms that they are picking up some of the traits that we are not liking, or that we are afraid they would pick up even with friends outside. Some of our children don't even go outside, but it is in those platforms that they are picking up. I know of late, Twitter has somehow changed its rules now, or its guidelines, or Twitter long back, it didn't have so much sexual content on it, but now it's now even more. So let's be very vigilant of those platforms they are engaging in, and always engage with our children. In as much as we want them to grow up on their own and learn some of these things, let us be sort of friends with them to actually understand everything they are going through and everything they do. And let's also take interest into some of the things they do, like what she mentioned, that her son is on a PlayStation. Let's find time to actually sit down and play with them. That's how we understand what it is they are going through and what harm comes from those platforms. Because if we are not engaging in them, we will not be able to understand what it is. They will always have they'll always be, I think, a step ahead of us, but let's try, just like we did as well when we were growing up. We always have had that way to navigate our parents. I know my parents would not allow me to just go out anyhow, but I would actually make use of that one person they trust to be able to go out. So in as much as we used to do that, our children also have all those tactics they will play on us. So let's be part of their playing or engage with them more often, so that we also bring them up in our culture, and also they do identify to the identity we want them to identify to. So thank you so much for coming through.
But please, I know we are all here as parents. Don't think because somebody says my child is the best in certain ways, you feel your own child is somehow. No. Just continue doing the best in their lives. They would all it would all balance out. It would balance itself.
Thank you so much for coming through. It was quite an interesting conversation. Gladys, I'm sorry you came in a bit at the end, but it was quite an engaging platform. I hope to see you again in our next face-to-face session. And if we have an online one, please join in and please do contribute. Let me know of any topics you would want us to also unpack or discuss. We will have a lot of these sessions. It might not be in here every time. When we get a chance and we have a sunny day, I would love for us to have maybe a picnic in the park, have such a good engagement while we are having a picnic. We also are thinking of introducing maybe some sporting if some people would want. I know we all have our different sports we used to do when we were younger, netball, tennis, whatever it is. If it's something that you are up to, please let us know.